Welcome to the Latin Wealth Podcast, a podcast dedicated to educating the Latino community about entrepreneurship, investing, and business.
Yo, what's going on, Latin Wealth family? Welcome to another episode to Wealth Wednesday. Got a couple dope topics we want to hit on today. Number one, we're going to be diving into a female entrepreneur who is bringing empanadas to an airport near you. Got a very entrepreneurial mindset. And she's got a dope story that we want to hit on and kind of share with you guys. And, you know, there's some things that we can learn from her story. Also, we want to hit on partnerships. What makes a successful partnership, whether it's business, and some of these principles you can actually apply to like your personal relationships and partnerships that you have. So a couple dope things that we want to hit on. First and foremost, Jeremiah, how you feeling today?
Feeling good. Good topics. Good to be back in the studio. So ready to get it.
Yeah, 100%. So dope story that we want to kind of break down real quick. A business called Half Moon Empanadas started with one store in, I believe it was Miami. They almost went bankrupt.
Yep.
You know, they almost went bankrupt, and then they started again with a food cart. And now she pretty much runs like a empanada empire, right? So she's got, since 2008, she's got locations in Miami South Beach. She's got over 20 locations in Denver Airport, Fort Lauderdale, Nashville, Chicago, just to name a couple big cities. And in 2023 alone, the company has sold 3 million empanadas alone. That's a lot.
That's a lot of empanadas.
That's a lot of work. I know she got to have some type of system where she's just cranking them out. You know what I'm saying? But the crazy thing is she's doing these. She has these restaurants at the airports, which is, you know, always a dope addition.
Foot traffic.
Yeah. She was also recently featured in Inc. magazine 2024 Female Founder 250 Most Intriguing Entrepreneurs. What are your thoughts about this? Bless you. Before we get into, you know, some of her backstory and like some of the negative, what are your thoughts about this? Because, you know, the restaurant business, it's a difficult one to hit.
It's hard. Especially think about in the era that she was starting. Mm-hmm. Like you're talking about 2008 recession, then moving into us with no foot traffic dang near at all during the pandemic and everything. But no, when I read this, I was like, geez, this is like the ultimate hustle.
Ultimate. Like
somebody coming from nothing and then almost failing. And at that point when she was about to fail, she said, well, let me just try it one more time. And I'll just give it everything that I got. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we get to the point to where we are now blowing up. But I also think that you got to look at a piece of the market that she attacked. Empanadas is like a comfort food. Mm-hmm. It's not something that's really hard to make, and it's not something that you can't really hate an empanada, right? Mm-hmm. It's breaded food, right? Like it's really simple. It's kind of in the middle of the road. It's gonna appeal to everybody. So it's not something that is culturally specific. So what does that mean? I can scale it. I can put it anywhere, and anybody is going to eat it because it's fairly simple. Like, it's simple. Yeah. It's something that anyone can, like.
It's not like a full-on restaurant where you got a full menu, you know, a bunch of different equipment and whatnot. If you're just focusing on this one thing and you do it at a high level, you know, you can be in 20 different locations like her.
That's the same thing that people say about, you know, mastering some type of skill set or mastering a career path. A lot of people say, oh, you got to have, it's 7 different, now it's 9, by the way, 9 different streams of income to be a millionaire. And I always tell people, but you got to have one Mississippi River. Mm-hmm. The majority of the rivers in the United States, right, come from Mississippi. But that's the main one. So what is going to be your Mississippi River? What is the main thing that gives you money? And if you focus on that and master that, then of course it gets a lot easier to go off and start other ventures and do other things.
And I think what's interesting about that analogy is you don't necessarily have to have 9 different Mississippi rivers.
One.
You can have one, and you can have something that comes off of that.
Yep.
Maybe it's the tool that she uses to crank out all these empanadas. Yeah. Maybe she starts selling that. Maybe it's the seasoning.
Yeah. Maybe it's her image itself.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe she becomes the face of Empanadas or the face of Latino baking or something like that. And she gets a bread sponsorship or something. These are all different endorsements and things that come from just building out your company and
100%.
making it successful.
So, yeah, I mean, like we mentioned, it wasn't all good in the beginning. You know, she quoted, "We managed to get out of South Beach because we were losing money.
Yeah.
We almost went bankrupt. And we moved to a kitchen in Miami and started a cart at the University of Miami." And she said for several years, they were basically making no money. You know, they were in an economic crisis for, she literally quoted, 7 years, which is insane. Without earning a salary month after month. And, you know, she basically, they asked her, "Where'd you get this resilience from?" She said, "Well, if I tell you I'm stupid, it's a bit of my personality, but I don't like no's." So she basically was saying she just has this mindset where she doesn't know anything else but just make it happen.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of people should take that into consideration. And what she went through is not that much different from anybody else working a regular job, right? Like, think about it. The majority of the people now in the United States, they may work jobs where you make $100,000 a year, but you're living paycheck to paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, dang, for 7 years, she didn't get a salary. Like, I mean, you're not really getting a salary either. You don't have nothing saved.
Yeah.
Most Americans, they got less than, 73% have less than $1,000 in their savings. So you're living the exact same way that she is. She's just pursuing building her dream. So at the end of the 7 years, we see where she's grown to, right? Building her dream. You're still building someone else's. So I just, because a lot of people like would look at that and like, that's stupid. I would never do that. Right. Because you're building someone else's dream, right? The name on that company, on that factory or whatever is someone else's family's name, and whereas she was building her own. So
yeah, 100%. I mean, look, 7 years doing this is, shout out to her, because
shout
this,
out to her, man.
7 years, most people will quit after 6 months. Let's keep it real.
6 months.
6 months.
Really?
Most people will quit. You
6
think sooner?
months.
Sooner?
Bro.
After the first sale?
Let's be serious. You said 6 months. People give it 90 days, bro. I know people that give it a month. They're like, "Oh, this is trash. I'm done."
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
no, 6 months. She deserves every single thing that she's getting now because the seeds were planted and the work was put in and the sacrifice was put in. Delayed gratification.
And what I like about this story is because people will say like that. Like they'll say like, "Yo, I'm gonna give it a year. I'm gonna give it 90 days, whatever." But to me, you can't put a time frame on what you've been called to do. If it takes you a year, if it takes you 7 years, you got to make it happen. You got to do it. If you feel like you've been called to do it, then you're gonna make it happen.
I would tell you, like we say, definitely pray on that though, because it's some of you that's 45 and still trying to rap, and that ain't it. But that comes with self-awareness though. No, it does. But then that's just what I'm saying. You got to have, like you're saying, have that self-awareness with the thought process of knowing that you're called to do that, because you could feel you're called to do that and you wasn't, and you should have been doing something else and working a job or something to get some money and then find your calling. But when you know what it is and you know it, there's a difference between feeling that it is something and knowing it. She knew it.
Right. You're right. That's
and this proves that she knew it.
She knew it. Yeah. 7 years. Man, that's absolutely insane. Is it pastelillos or empanada? What is it, bro?
Where you from? It's empanadas for me.
Okay.
But
depends where I'm at.
It depends on where you're at.
From Puerto Rico, it's pastelillos.
What part of Puerto Rico?
That depends too. But I've been on both sides, and it's
empanadas for my family.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know. I mean, I know both, but I feel like I don't know where where
it came from.
I don't know whether, because you could have like a Puerto Rican family and both of them say different things. So I don't know which way that goes. Like, I know there's other words for other stuff from us. We have a lot of words but that's a good point. I don't know. That's an age-old question.
No, that's a heated debate.
It is. That is an age-old question. I say empanadas, but I know both.
Yeah, I interchange both of them depending on who I'm around. You know what I'm saying? My mom get mad. She's like, "No, it's pastelillos." Respect. And I don't know where, like, your family, and that might just be part of the island where people came from. I don't know. But you said you've been on both sides, and it was both.
it was
Cool.
Was it so it's for you pastelitos always?
It depends where I'm at. If I'm around like my mom's, or if I'm in Puerto Rico, like even if you in San Juan or in Luquillo, the kiosco, it's gonna say pastelillo.
It does. I don't know, man. And then you go to Viejo San Juan, and it's empanada.
Well, I think that's because I don't want to get too far off the track, but you got people coming in from other countries, and factual. It's widely accepted.
That's factual. Yeah.
But if you go, to Luquillo,
if you go to the hood,
that's
true.
It is.
I'll give you that.
Cool. Let's move on to talk about something that we both have experience with. We've been knocking out these podcast episodes for a minute now. Partnerships.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, not even like our, partnership, but also, in business and, in general. I want to talk about, what makes a successful partner. And it's not something, something that's definitely needs to be, you got to sit down with yourself and ask, like, is this something that you want to get into?
Yeah, but you should have this before you even go into business, right? Mm-hmm. Or looking to go into business for someone else, because that's different from being with yourself and partnering or just working for yourself. There's two things that I look at, and this is something 24/7 that always happens. So there's two things. Number one is the vision. So do our visions align? And they don't have to be the exact same, because that person's a different person and I'm me. But the vision has to somehow, right, cross over. Like, do those visions kind of, are we going towards in the same direction?
Very important.
And the second one is value. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, that's a good point. I don't want to roll past that, identifying, goals and the vision from the jump is important, and really sit down with that person. Like, is this something that you're down for? Because people in the beginning, it may sound good, it may, look good, but do you really have the same goals as me? Do you have the same intentions? And there's been
the same passion, the same discipline.
Yeah, that's big, because I've had multiple. Yeah, we ain't gonna go there. We've had people on this platform that didn't stick around, and the cream of the crop rises up. But identifying goals and making sure that this person is going to match your energy level and your passion level is extremely important.
100%. And then from there, if you find that those things do align, and you're like, okay, that person has my discipline, the goals match, we want to go, then you move on to the values. What does that mean? Their moral compass, who they are, their integrity. Will they do anything for $1? Will they scam? Will they take advantage of people? Right? And if those, and if you have those two things, to me, the partnership can grow, because the skill set or the aptitude of that other person, if you're a little bit further ahead, you can help that person, but they're probably bringing some creativity or something to the partnership that you don't have. Right? And so you can work on those type of things. But if they have, the vision and the values, those two things, which encompass so much, you can work on everything else. Because, systems and things like that take care of a lot of the stuff that you'll have problems with. But, hopefully somebody in that partnership is technical. Yeah,
and I like that, because I always say it's not necessarily about equal giving, but equal sacrifice.
100%.
One person may be able to fund the project, right? And maybe you're not able to do that, but you can step up and, be creative, or, there's other things that you can do that can attribute to having an equal sacrifice.
Yeah. And just because someone gives money doesn't mean that they're actually putting anything in.
True.
Because that money may not mean anything to them. They may have a
large
amount of money that doesn't mean anything to them. They just gave it, sparingly, like, whatever, who cares, right? But you're giving your time, your sacrifice, the effort, right? And breathing into that project. So you probably sacrifice more than that person that put in the funding. They don't care if it's really, they want it to be, obviously it's an investment, but they're like, whatever, I got other stuff going on.
Does time equal money for you?
In most things it does.
I don't think it does. I think time is vastly more valuable than money.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
That's debatable.
Perspective.
Yeah. It's all about perspective. It's always about perspective. Because what I challenge people to say with that is, you say it's more valuable, but do something, give someone an immense amount of your time and not earn anything for it, and watch how other things that you value leave you.
That's true.
So that's what I tell people. I hear you, but you need to get paid. You need to be compensated for your time. Time is money. Most definitely for me. That's just for me.
Okay. Moving on.
No, you can come back with the. Come on, man.
No, look, because I don't want to get too far off topic, but my thing.
Good.
No. So look, if you're like, look, if I tell you only have 24 hours left to live, you can take $5 million or you can spend it with your family. What are you most likely gonna do?
With only 24 hours left to live?
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably sit there and think of a way to get out of that, and not the living.
Going with the family, bro.
No. I'm saying not the living part, but I want you to think about something. I want you to that same situation that you just said, but think about it. If you're broke, which one are you taking?
Well, you got 24 hours to live. I'm going with the family.
And so you're gonna leave them broke.
But what is the money gonna do for? Okay, look,
it ain't doing nothing for you.
No. You're right. But okay, maybe I should preface with this, like. Only you can spend that money.
Come on, man. Okay. That's straight.
Most people are
going to do with it. I'm going to spend it. I'm going to buy something.
Most people, I know what you're going to buy.
Exactly.
Most people are going to think like that anyway. So
true.
I'm $5 million. I'm going to the Gucci store.
I'm not doing that. You know what I'm doing.
I know what
it's going to be some money for my family. I mean, I'm with you on that. I understand that. If it's like, in that aspect, of course you want to spend time with the family. And time is the most precious commodity. It most definitely is.
I do, and I will say, to agree with you, before we get back on track, urgency. Yeah. I think it's the biggest thing. Time is money. Like, what are we doing? We can't just be sitting around, not earning or not. Something valuable has to be happening, right?
Agreed.
Dope. So aligning goals. What was the second one for you? You mentioned aligning goals.
Yeah, so it was vision and values. So like moral content of the person.
So I like that. It kind of goes along with what I was gonna say, building trust. Having that communication.
Yep.
Talk about like defining roles and responsibility. How important is that? Super
important. You want to be the CEO. Most of the time, the CEO can't be the COO. The CEO is vision. He's looking at the strategic movements of the company. So he has to lead the company in a way that it's going to grow and it's able to scale and be successful in different ways. COO is a tactical person. They do the day-to-day. They make sure the day-to-day operations and the things that get the company running on the day-to-day is being done efficiently. And that's what they focus on, step by step. Is that being done the most efficient? So I say all that to say, those are two different mindsets of people. The first person may be okay in that area, but he's more of a big picture type of person. The COO is very tactical and very detail oriented, right? And you need both of them. So it's understanding what people bring to the table and then placing them in those right positions.
100%. And I think the last thing I want to throw out there before we wrap it up is monitor, evaluate, and adapt. So feedback is big with me. I'm huge on feedback. So whether it's in business and I'm asking, the clients like, what can we be doing better? How can I make this partnership better? Or even you and I, after we jump off every episode, what do we say? What do you think about that?
100%.
What did it hit the bar? Did it hit the gold standard? So, and then from there, taking that information and adapting it and being better.
I think that's probably one of the biggest things, because a lot of people get feedback or they say like, oh, you suck. Not saying that people say that, but but you could, and then but it's taking it, and what do you do with it?
Yeah.
How do you implement that feedback that you got? Are you going to use it? Because we could give people advice, and all, and we always talk about that. Like, are you using this advice? Yeah. So that's a big piece.
Even you suck is feedback for me.
It is.
All right, cool.
I think it's useful.
Yeah.
Not everybody would though.
No, for sure.
I'm not telling someone to go tell someone they suck.
No.
Like that's not what I'm saying.
My follow up question is going to be like, what do you think sucks? Okay, this. All right, bet we'll improve upon
work on that.
Yeah. Dope. Love it. If you guys learned anything from this episode, feel free to share this episode with somebody else. comment, like, subscribe. It means the world to us. And as always, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.